think I lost my thread, but you are um, establishing relationship with those various also personalities, you could say, with their intelligence and experience and way of perceiving the world and way of perceiving the human being. There are other families of spirits. I'm speaking of the most simple ones for now, and other types of spirits, of course, in nature. And some might call them also elementals. I don't call them elementals. And many other families of spirits, some that you might some that might be akin to, you could say, gnomes or elves, or in other Asiatic traditions, you could say devas, who are beings with a kind of overall understanding of certain places, and not exactly guardian spirits, but kind of guardian architect spirits. And all of those beings exist, and many other beings also in nature, not necessarily of nature, as in the organic experience of nature, but also spirits who reside in nature. Of course, they're natural spirits, but they're not exactly expressions of the natural world. So, in any case, animism is relating to this, and this is done through offerings, through ceremonies, through all kinds of things. So many cultures are animistic. Certain cultures are animistic and shamanistic. So you can have an animistic culture without shamanism. You can't have a shamanistic culture without animism. So shamanism, in my own definition, and I won't go, there are many videos on the meaning of the word shaman, the etymology, the Siberian cultures or culture where this word arose, and how it has spread over the world in something a bit indistinct, a bit very muddled, in my opinion, nowadays. But shamanism is a very specific, that's in my opinion, a very specific aspect, healing aspect and balance restoring aspect, but especially healing aspects of certain animistic cultures. And the technology of shamanism really is the use, in my own opinion, of trance and the ability to go into trance, repeated trance, and also go and fetch information, retrieve information and bring it back, and also work in the spirit world. So when you go in that trance, going into the spirit world, and maybe I'll have to also define that. So the world of spirits, I was mentioning spirits, but there are other spirits, and effecting certain changes there with the help of spirits. So no shamanism either works without the help of certain spirits, with whom the shaman or shamanistic person has established a relationship, and a long-term relationship. This usually through various forms of apprenticeship, and usually very severe trials. So, in my opinion, shamanism is a more specific, animistic expression of healing, with a very definite use of the trance state. I know some of you will say, well, in certain animistic cultures there are other forms of trance, or they use trance, but it's not shamanism, etc. It's true. This is not, maybe in another video again I'll develop that, but just to make it a quick definition of what all of this is. So also, in my opinion, not everyone has a shamanistic bent, and definitely not everyone can be a shaman, so-called. But everyone can benefit from some shamanistic aspects, and even use trance for various means. I know this is not very popular because there are loads of people making their, you could say, business out of saying that everyone can be a shaman. I don't believe that is so. I think certain people can. It doesn't mean, and will, but it doesn't mean that you cannot access the spirit world. It doesn't mean you cannot find solutions from the spirit world. It cannot mean you can't have a very profound animistic relationship. It doesn't mean you cannot, for example, if the shamanistic structure is not there, that you cannot go very deeply and learn to work even as a healer, even as some form of ceremonialist in an animistic tradition. And I'll develop that a little bit more. So I think for me the problem is this kind of overall use of shamanism, which creates confusion and frustration and all kinds of fantasies, really, in my opinion. I hope this is a helpful introduction. I will develop on all those subjects, and I do encourage you to establish your animistic relationship with nature, and if you really motivated that way with a deep desire to go towards healing work, do your own healing work. That's the very start of it, and then seek out a tradition that might help you. Of course, exercise your judgments once again on the personalities of the people there and their clarity. And if, for example, you were to go towards an authentic shamanistic tradition in Nepal or Mongolia, and don't idealize every shaman around, because they are also human beings. They're not sages, exactly sages. Some of them are not. They're very potent people, but not necessarily sages. But if you get turned down, or if you realize you're just being taken in for your money and nothing much is being passed on to you, or they just say, that's maybe also honest, and say, well, I don't think you can do this. No, there are animistic traditions where you can also go, and where the healing work is just as profound. The tools are very different, or are different. Those traditions will also require a lot of commitment, a lot of work, and a lot of self-sacrifice, or sacrifice, I think, of certain things. So no authentic tradition is an easy path in those areas of human experience. That's my own experience. I wish you a good journey, and I'll come back with another video very shortly. Bye. Blessings to you all.